Namaste Galactic family, welcome back to my channel Indigo Angel. Welcome if you're new. If you're returning, don't forget to hit the notifications bell to continue to receive my messages. Today I have a current energy reading for Vega Lyran Starseed for January 2020. Your Lyran origin is influenced by the star Vega, which used to be the original pole star about 14,000 years ago. It does mean falling eagle or vulture, so I do feel that the most original perception, the original expression of this radial encryption is an avian encryption. And it does initiate the pillar or the prism of Lyra, which is a full spectrum, full 12 dimensional and beyond, 12 to 22, interdimensional spectrum of all universal radial encryptions. This does stronghold the 10th through 12th sphere in the 12 tree grid, or the universal celestial template, the 10 through 12th density planetarily as well. So Lyra is a very, very universal Stargate system that has a lot to do with the quantum realms, and the most deepest aspects of the DNA reconfigurations, DNA activations, anything when you've gone quantum essentially within the biological structures and the planetary shields, meaning that it does represent the shield of Armentania, which is the deepest quantum activator within the planetary shields. So yes, if you're a Lyran starseed, you do carry a very noble instrument, you can say. You're very aligned to the harmony of the Lyra of Orpheus, and that is represented by that vulture carrying a harp in its beak symbolically. So you would be super meta attuned to these harmonizations of the cosmic symphony. But Lyra does go hand in hand with the avian trinity. So right now for January 5th, 2020, we are aligned in a lot of planetary positions to Vega. We're at the sun's aligned to Vega, Mercury's aligned to Vega, Jupiter and Saturn, and I do believe Pluto is also aligned to Vega at this time. So major Lyran activations. So perfect timing for this January reading. And it does come as no surprise as we kind of came out through a lot of these darker, more war alignments, Stargate alignments too. So the Lyran Stargate energy encryption does span energetically within the bird tribes and within all of the avian lineages on the planet. So the birds actually, the avian dynamic, this platform, this host, this soul genetic, this would be representing the highest dimension of the human spirit in animal form. Also, the avian does coincide to plasma. So when the mind, body, and spirit takes flight. Okay, so that's why it holds such a high encryption, and it does hold the planetary locations and host the planetary strongholds, the planetary host that would be basically contributing on a planetary Stargate level to those initiations. And so those locations would be Montségur, France, Vale of Pewsey, UK, and Abadan, Iran. So those three Stargate systems are holding down and hosting the Lyran gateways in the Universal Templar. But there are going to be a lot of other Stargate systems that are going to be activating in accordance to this Lyran gateway. So whenever we have any mother arc or any heart chakra Stargate systems in the planet activating as well, Lyra is usually initiated in that, as it's doing most of the work within the quantum realms. It's doing most of the highest gamma burst radial reconfiguration. So Lyrans, you are, you're some of the oldest souls in the galaxy, but you're also some of the most in tune to the subtlety energies individually, biologically, and planetarily. Okay, so you're considered the root race of all humanoid races in the galaxy, and you did play one of the most important roles in the first seeding of souls in Atlantis. And they say that Lyrans also contributed to the element of fire. So when fire was discovered, planetarily in the Neolithic times that the Lyrans were the initiators of this discovery. And so therefore, it's one of the reasons why you work so deeply within the fire codons in the DNA. So all of those scalar codons within the DNA, all of those 12-strand DNA templates within the identity level correspondences within the actual different HOVA body levels within the 12-dimensional spectrum, the 144 12 fire codes between the strands, okay? In a universal perception, the Lyrans are the ones who are re-encoding from that 144 letter codon spectrum. And so there's just, it's incredible that the energetic spectrum that the Lyrans contribute to planetarily. So of course they're being activated and, you know, infusing into the biological awareness for greater planetary healing at this time for the month of January, as we are in somewhat of an imbalance planetarily. You know, as here in North America, we're going through winter, we're going through drier climate, we're going through colder climate, and then on the other aspect of that, we have Australia, our equal opposite counterpart, who's going through these severe fires. And so, you know, we're all being affected planetarily by the things that are happening, all of the earthquakes that are happening right now. There's been a lot of 5.0 earthquakes over within the Ring of Fire towards New Zealand. And so, you know, everything is felt within our biological structure. We're all connected planetarily. And so the Lyrans do bring a huge awareness to this, and they are out to be the protectors of the cradle of all of the passageways coming in and out for density, for seeding, for ascension, for anything of materialization and dematerialization. The Lyrans are in the midst, and they are the mechanics of this atomic interworkings within the planetary shields and within the biological shield. So just know, Lyrans, you have a huge mission on this planet, and you are in the thick, and you are at the root of all of the planetary healing that is necessary at this time. So let's go ahead and take a look for January energies for the Lyran starseed. So we also have a lot of Aldebaran activations coming in. We have Cygnus and Aquila. They're going to be coming up in conjunction. So we're going to be activating to these star systems more and more as well. Also, their oppositional aspects will be activating. I believe that's Hydra. That's also Sirius. So there's going to be a divine mother essence that's coming through planetarily as well as we heal, as more compassion is needed, as more nurturing is needed to get through some of these energies. You're going to see a lot more divine mother activations as well. And Lyran does assist with that energy coming through planetarily. Okay, so on a human level, for the Lyran starseed, we have the Ace of Wands, an insurgence of creativity and willpower. There's this spiritual rebirthing coming through. There's a lot of divine masculine healing that's happening right now. Lyrans are working deeply with the genetic mutations and distortions of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. There's this wave of Lyran energy that's trying to clear that template for a lot of beings who are in tune and aware of the masculine and feminine gender manipulations and frequency fences and implants that have been self-installed, unaware and maybe not consciously self-installed, but you know, a lot of this has been self-installed. Some of this hasn't been self-installed, but there's just a lot of awareness as more of these layers keep pushing up to the forefront. So there's going to be a surge of collective healing through the divine masculine at this time, because we have Vega, Aquila, and Lyra all activating. So that brings forth a very pure expression of the divine masculine trinity that's going to be healing and clearing as it counterbalances oppositionally with the divine mother. A lot of divine masculine and divine feminine distortions are going to be coming into union. There's going to be a huge clearing within that wave, within that template for those who are activated to the awareness of that. We also have the King of Pentacles. So that's, like I said, kind of, and this is on a spiritual level. So we have the human and then we have the galactic level. So we have the King of Pentacles, which does kind of correspond to that divine masculine healing that's going to come through. A lot of corruption is being exposed at this time. You know, if you're paying attention to any type of political news, Trump did just assassinate the governor of the Iranian government. And so just corruption's just going to continue to be exposed. Like more and more actions are going to be taken. Hopefully war is not initiated, but there are a lot of suggestions that war could potentially be initiated planetarily. So the masculine energy is just taking a lot of stands at this time, and how that's going to play out is still to be unfolded. But there's a lot of wisdom and a lot of learning that's coming through. The Cygnus energy was bringing through a lot of childlike regression. So a lot of people have had to regress to a childlike state to just internally heal right now. There's this having to go back into a viewpoint of viewing things from a more infant or a more childlike perception, to start approaching things from a way that, like, you know, maybe we don't know everything, and there's lessons to be learned here. And anybody at any time in life, even in the most ascended energy, in the most expanded consciousness, we constantly can come back to that regression. And that's also going to be a part of the healing that comes through for the gender manipulation planetarily. So that's going to be happening. A lot of wisdom is coming through this masculine wave. So you're going to see a lot of masculine stepping into a place of safety and protection right now. A lot of masculine stepping into that role where they feel that they need to possibly even protect the feminine on some level, or just their country or their, you know, family. There's just going to be this protective vibration that radiates through this Lyran template, because there is this standing and empowerment that is happening within that masculine template at this time. So there's going to be, you know, through that divine wisdom that's coming through, there's going to be a lot of resourceful thinking, trying to think on your feet, trying to outsmart an opponent or a competitor or, you know, a country or a government. Unfortunately, there's a lot of this rivalry, competitor mentality. There's going to be an intensification of occult wisdom and occult knowledge. So a lot of people are going to be going through an archaic revival. A lot of people are going to be, like I said, waking up more to time travel, to regress to civilizations and time periods in history where we can pull information from this time to help with the clearing and help with the healing of the collective. There's going to be this identification of this Aquarian energy as well, where there's going to be a revolutionizing energy. Uranus will be conjunct with Pleiades for the first half of 2020. So a lot is going to be purified in a revolutionary way through the fifth density, through the highest aspect of our spirit and our ascension, and through the heart chakra. There's going to be more heart clearing, more that's coming up, more that's pushing up to the surface, and it is going to be in a very mental, shrewd kind of way where one would not be afraid to go to battle. That's one thing about this avian energy. It's like as we rise into the avian brain and ascension takes flight, the human biological structure does sometimes equally respond in a polar dynamic. So it's sometimes that we are going in two completely different directions. Our human is going in one direction, but our spirit is going in another. And then it snaps back like a rubber band and brings it back together. That's kind of like how this energy is unfolding within the Lyran template right now, is there's a lot of expanding and contracting, expanding and contracting. On a human level, we have the Seven of Pentacles. So all of this is playing out within the etheric. All of this is playing out within the quantum. All of this is playing out within the unseen. But it's really building on a galactic level, it's really assisting with the overall growth of moving forward on a human level, right? Because our galactic level and our human level are merging, they're coming back together, they're expanding, coming back together. And, you know, it's pushing forward our growth. It's pushing forward a lot of solidification of our foundation. Also with Lyra being 12th density, Lyran would be also working with the polar unification of Metatron and Sandalphon. These angels are twin brothers. One is at the height of the dimensional scale, the other is at the bottom. And so that they kind of equally represent that spectrum that we're not just sowing our seeds, we're sowing our seeds, our purpose within the ground, equally ascending to the height and then coming back together and merging that reality to try to solidify that unification in the physical realm and in the galactic realm. Okay, so it's trying to provide this balance, and there's a lot of ET crafts that are presenting about, I'm picking up on so many ET crafts that are just like flying over right now. They're presenting to confirm this. They're also presenting, when you see a lot of alien craft, you see a lot of ETs and ultra terrestrials coming forth, they are confirming a lot of this internal networking and internal spectrum that is playing out. The physical reality for the Lyran starseed has been extremely physically involved and also emotionally demanding. So you have been having to work extra hard just to maintain the spiritual aspect and the emotional body. You feel like you've been having to work really hard for a long time. So there has been this clearing and this release of energy that has needed to come through. On a human level, we have the Five of Cups, so that is kind of confirming that the emotional body has really been under a huge suppression right now, or just, like I said, a lot of sorrow, a lot of loss, a lot of suffering, a lot of grief. This might have this very much would be affecting you on an atomic structural level. So as photonic energy comes in, you might be having rapid dematerialization of your reality field. So timelines are just kind of breaking off, falling away, and radically shifting. Reality shifts happening very, very quickly. You might even be in a completely different place tomorrow than you were yesterday, like a complete radical shift that has happened or is happening within the month of January. But it's all within the planetary rapid acceleration. And so we are in alignment to what is happening planetarily. There is no doubt about that. The emotional distress levels that are happening with a lot of the planetary things that are happening, the earthquakes, the fires, everything within the 30-degree north and south horizontal ley lines, all of that stuff is playing out within the Lyran encryption. And so you are taking a brunt of a lot of this emotional transmutation that is happening and expressing itself very much in your physical reality. So you are having to balance the spiritual, the emotional, and the physical and the mental, very aware. Like you're having to be very aware of everything that's happening just to maintain balance at this point. Once again, the message is just don't live in any regret. Everything that's happening, everything that's playing out is playing out for a reason. And there is going to be a great clearing and a great healing that comes through, specifically when we get into more of the Sirian energy that's going to come through on the opposition of the planet. So on a galactic level, we have the Emperor. This is also another very masculine card. So we have two very masculine cards presenting for the Lyran starseed. This does symbolize the desire to rule over one's surroundings. Some things might not be controllable, others may not benefit from control. So this is about releasing a lot of control, but like I said, with these masculine energies amping up planetarily, there are going to be a lot of masculines that feel that they need to protect and defend at this time. A lot of Archangel Michael activations, a lot of Aldebaran coming through right now for assisting the Lyran Stargate's universal template. Aldebaran does kind of sit in the occult universal template. And so they are these underlying radial light sources encryptions that assist other Stargate systems. And so Aldebaran, Regulus, all of the 4 royal stars are heavily activating at this time that are assisting the reconfigurations of the divine masculine template within the Lyran Stargate system. So there's going to be a lot of releasing control, but there's going to be a lot of desire to protect and redefine the gender manipulation, like I had said before. Also, this is about releasing weaknesses, releasing immaturity, releasing failed ambition, releasing a status-driven mentality, releasing tyrannism or tyrannical actions. So like with Trump doing what, he did with that situation. So it's playing out, and you can see it being played out in the public, in the politics. That's really where the thick of the spiritual warfare plays out. So pay attention to that. Don't get immersed in it to a point that it's affecting your life, but definitely stay informed. And a lot of the untrustworthy behavior is clearing out right now, individually and collectively. So you're going to be seeing this through the Lyran Stargate system a lot. On a human level, we have the 9 of Swords. So a lot of swords coming through this energy reading. Swords is, I think of it as like mental shrewdness. Like I almost feel like it's like all of the mental strife that we have to push through. So your past might be getting caught up with you right now. There's going to be this return of these inner demons or past nightmares, or just the mental equilibrium that will be out of balance. So I kind of think of it like Rigel. If you're familiar with the Rigel Stargate system in Orion, it holds this very bold, courageous, this bloodshed, fighting off many enemies, and imposing a new will or a new awareness or a new reflection. So there's going to be a lot of healing of wounds, but the Lyrans are coming through and assisting and saying that these wounds are going to be healed. That's what the Capricorn overall, the energy comes through, and it does heal a lot of these battle wounds that were imposed upon everyone through those darker months, November, December. And so we're kind of reflecting right now. We're going through a reflective transition of that energy within the Lyran encryption. There's a lot of mirroring as we begin to see through the prism of Lyra. And this prism of Lyra is giving us this full spectrum visibility as the density clears out, and as the Lyran radial encryption works through that inner healing and clearing that is happening within the quantum realms, within the planetary shields, the shield of Armentania. Okay, on a galactic level, we have the Ace of Pentacles. It is signifying there will be new growth. There will be opportunities for new ways to present. There's going to be a lot of possible material possessions that are either getting stripped away, or there's going to be abundance provided. It seems that we're kind of shifting in these polar energies right now. It's going from one spectrum to the next, spectrum to the next. So one day it might be a lot of abundance. The next day it might be now you're going through loss. And this is happening very rapidly at this time planetarily right now. Like I said, it's like the rubber band snapping back and forth. And Lyra is in the thick of it, trying to balance this energy out. So there's just a lot of clearing, a lot of healing planetarily, individually, biologically. Everybody is feeling these shifts, whether they're conscious of it or not. It is playing out on some level in the subconscious, within the psyche, for one to experience these revelations and these new reality fields that are birthing themselves through the month of January. So it is kicking off 2020 kind of with a bang. But great healing is going to be coming forth, like I said, as those oppositional radial light source energies interfuse into the templates. Sirius is going to be playing a huge role in this. Okay, Lyran Starseeds, so just hang in there. You do have a big job as a Lyran starseed. You hold a very powerful, universal, celestial template and radial encryption that helps so much with the collective transmutation on such a quantum spectrum. So, you know, your energy is very influential. It does go to the root of all races. And there are going to be a lot of Grail line healing and clearing, a lot of ancestral healing and clearing as well. I didn't mention this before, but the Lyrans are also the ancestors, and they do hold the keys to these metagalactic core gateways where the ancestors dwell. And so there's just a lot of, like I said, archaic revival that's happening right now, where we're reaching out to the ancestors to heal and clear this. And there's a lot of ancestral communication at this time. So just be open to receive those messages from your ancestors, because they are coming through that Lyran gateway. And yes, so I love you guys so much. I hope that you received these messages today with hope, love, and inspiration, that we're going to be entering into a beautiful year ultimately that's going to energetically just be bringing together the subconscious and the conscious and aligning them in harmony, especially as we come into the Lyran Sirian opposition. There will be more balancing as we get a little bit farther along into the January month. Okay, guys, so all of these Stargate iron crystal cores are just illuminating these celestial segments. And I love you guys so much. If you would like a Starseed Origin reading, you can go to indigoangel222.com and you can buy my new book, How to Read Celestial Akashic Records, Starseed Origins. That's also on my website, indigoangel222.com. So I love you, Lyran Starseed. Namaste. Have a beautiful rest of your day.